Welcome back, everyone. Going in the second half here of Dropped Frames. Before we get started with everything else, quick moments on Path of Exile New League. You still playing? You out of it? What are you doing?
I might be playing right now.
Okay, good. Good.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's been pretty great. I like the new mechanic. I like the melee changes. Definitely a little bit more technical hiccups than I'm used to from GG.
Yeah.
Little surprised by that. Apparently there were thankfully I didn't get hit with too much of the big ones, and also I took a small break apparently over a weekend where they introduced a bunch of stuff but then quickly fixed it.
Right.
But yeah, it's been a very fun league. I really like the melee changes. They're pretty great. Apparently they got highest concurrence again, which is awesome. I love seeing that. And yeah, more progress. We're looking forward. Another great guild, another great league, and still playing it.
Yeah. I'm going to steal from the Path of Exile subreddit. Someone posted on there that it's a good thing when, like, the biggest problems with the league are tech issues and the idea that there's so many people playing now that the trade system is starting to fail because of how many people are playing. So
Yep.
those are definitely good issues during a league, and not necessarily the league mechanics being the highlight or the focal point for everyone. So I'm enjoying it. I quit.
Yeah.
Then I came back.
Yeah. How's your new build going? You started a Slayer
Scourge
Venom
arrow.
arrow?
Yeah.
Scourge arrow.
Yeah.
How's it going?
It's pretty glass cannon-y, which is, I was already playing a very glass cannon build to begin with the crit slayer. And now it's even like, I beat the game. I got to maps in 4 hours, 11 minutes with like 1400 life. And so that felt pretty good. Yeah, that's the fastest I've ever done that. So that was kind of a cool thing. But I have 4,000 life and I'm like killing Shaper right now. And so it's like real glass cannon-y. So apart from that, still PoE, still good, still fun, still something I look forward to every 3 months.
And I'll see you in 3 months.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Good talk.
There's not much else to say. Where are you at right now in terms of like, are you gonna be doing Shaper? Is that something, or are you just kind of playing for fun?
Potentially. I'm actually having a really fun time with Cyclone and the melee build. I like you am having some issues with squishiness. I actually today ran into a situation where I was just getting repeatedly one shot by a corrupted T13 map.
Okay.
Ended up losing like half a bar of experience and couldn't beat it. So that was fun. But yeah, I think that, as the league goes on and as items become cheaper and as I'm able to kind of gear out and stuff, I'm still using like some early ass axe. I'm still using Sinvictus Metal.
Oh,
I'm, on T13 maps. So I have a lot of room to grow.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going well. Having fun with it for sure.
Cool. Zeke, when you got back from E3, what have you been playing? What have you been doing? What's been going on the channel? I've been so busy streaming myself. I have not seen what's been going up on your channel.
I finally checked out Katana Zero.
Oh, that's
I only checked it out. Did you finish it?
Yeah, I finished yesterday.
How was that?
Man. Fantastic. Did you play Co?
I have not played that yet, actually.
Okay. Katana Zero is rightly compared to, like, it's kind of like Ninja Gaiden mixed with Hotline Miami. And it's a fair comparison because Hotline Miami had this like mysterious through line, this mysterious story, like you're a killer, you don't know why. There's a very similar kind of a thing happening in Katana Zero. You get bits and pieces of information as it goes on as to what's going on, what's happening to you, who's pulling the strings, and all that kind of stuff. And it's underlined with really cool gameplay, really fun, fast-paced, if you want to, gameplay, as well as a fucking bumping soundtrack.
Yeah.
They can, like, Devolver continues to knock it out of the park with games. Like, they don't have much to do with like what soundtrack goes with a game, but consistently they publish games with amazing soundtracks, and this one is no different. It's fucking great. Drives the game. The mechanics in the game are incorporated into the game really in a really cool way. You have this I don't know, foresight or precognition, basically. So the levels are set up as VHS tapes, So when you die and go back to the beginning, you say like, oh, it didn't happen like that. It happened like this. And then when you complete it, at the end of the level, it says something like, I think that's how it went. Because when you get it right, basically. So you have the ability to slow down time is one of the constructs of the game, because a lot of shit happens really, really quickly. Enemies notice you super fast, especially, and it becomes a problem when they have firearms and stuff like that, because as soon as they see you, they shoot you. It's a pretty difficult game on the normal setting. Once you complete it, you can go through it again on hard mode. I haven't done that yet, but it unlocks hard mode. And you use that's the slowdown mode.
That's cool.
You use that, you can see bullets, and you can reflect bullets back at the shooters. But once you complete the level, it shows a rewind of the entire level without the slowdowns. So it looks like really, really cool when you like jump in, slice two guys, deflect a bullet back at another guy, roll past this guy, throw a bottle at this guy, slice the guy that you just rolled past, stuff like that. So it has a really cool vibe to it after you finish the level, of making you feel like a super badass, like you made like an action movie, like a John Wick kind of a thing.
And a super hottie?
Sort of, I suppose, yeah. Like the feeling gives you sure. Now, of course, as soon as the game came out, there are people who are challenge mode kind of people who did it with. You can do the entire game without using the slow mode at all. And ASCII games. Let me just make sure. Make sure the developers, ASCII Soft, ASKIISOFT. Apparently they're really good about catering to speedrunners as well. So there's speedrunning mode, which like eliminates certain things, streamlines other things, takes like cutscenes out and stuff like that. It has an in-game timer that you can use to see how fast you're actually going.
Huh.
That's cool.
And was super fun. It doesn't take a long time to beat. I think I got I played through the entire game plus a few optional things in about 9 hours. But man, what a 9 hours it was. It's really fun to play. Like, bar none, biggest thing I can say about it, the game is fucking super fun. And like I've said a million times before, a good soundtrack will make a great game excellent, and this definitely made it excellent. It is on Steam right now. You can buy it for $14.99, and I won't say go spend your money on it, but I will say there's way worse games for the same price that you can spend your money on.
How much did you say? How much actual time there was for $15 in terms of like a playthrough?
I got 9 hours into it.
Okay, all right.
But there's optional shit. There's hidden stuff that you can find. So it does have some replay value for sure.
Cool.
And the thing is, you don't mind replaying it because, if for nothing else, the soundtrack just makes it enjoyable to play through it.
Makes sense. I'll use that transition to talk about another game where the soundtrack makes it, because that's what the game is. And I'm wondering, Zeke, do you have plans to play Cadence of Hyrule? Like, this game is if you don't like Zelda as much as I do, so I don't know if you'll like this game as much as I do. That's the only thing with the two of you, is you're not like Zelda super fans, so I don't know if you're into this or not, because all the songs are Zelda.
Oh, I love Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Well, the music is Zelda music is great. Zelda music is absolutely fine, and of course, Danny B.
Right.
Danny B is
yeah,
he's phenomenal. And he's a personal friend. He just kills it.
He does.
I have not heard this soundtrack though.
Oh my God, it is. I'll be talking over everything, so I don't know if I want to pipe in the music. And they can't talk about an official soundtrack for it yet. But he was in the chat the entire time. I was playing this game. And anytime I would start, my head would bob or something like that. He'd be like, "There it is. He's got it. He's got he's got the rhythm."
Nope.
Yeah.
Every time I play this game.
Oh yeah, it's hell of a
This is
thing.
me.
It's a hell of a thing. So if you've never played Crypt of the Necrodancer, one, it's worth playing, but two, this game is basically everything that game was, but improved upon. when you like defeat, the only time that the beat thing, I guess beat movement mechanic pops in is when there's enemies on screen. Otherwise you can just move freely, which is like brilliant.
Oh, really?
It's fucking the smartest call that they've ever made for this style of game. And it made the game, because now I'm just like moving around and there's puzzles to solve. There's hidden walls. There's all this type of stuff. And it's great. You don't take, it's also, I would say it's easier, I think, than Crypt of the Necrodancer. You don't take a penalty when you miss a beat in this, and your life pool is much more. In fact, you get 2 full rows of hearts. I don't know how I recall. I remember Necrodancer being just like unbelievably difficult after like the first stage or 2. And I never really got further than that because you start back at square one when you die. This game, it keeps your hearts, it keeps your progress. There's different bosses and stuff which will stay dead. Monsters do respawn when you get 2 maps away from them, but they're never like super difficult. And I never found myself thinking it was difficult until like the last area, because it kind of stays like this, and then you hit the last area and it fucking turns into Mount Everest, and it just gets unbelievably hard in a good way, because it makes you go back to the overworld and like get the rest of your HP and get all of the different abilities and actually like complete the game and see the rest of the game and see all the different tiles on every single map.
How long did it take you?
I want to say about 9 hours, 9 or 10 hours. I played it for the first day for 6, and I think I came back the next day and beat it in like 2 or 3. I'm really bad at it as well. I'm top 10,000 in terms of completion. I was like 9,668 or something like that. The number 1 person, I had 7 hours of game time according to my chat. But the number 1 person beat the game in like 43 minutes with like 3,900 steps or some shit when I beat it. And I beat it with like 40,000 steps. And so there's definitely some skill involved when it comes to speed racing this game. I'm sure it's much faster now because I beat this on Sunday. And so it's obviously some time has passed and people have gotten into the game. Chat saying 26 minutes now is the world record. But yeah, it's a hell of a thing. My best way to judge a game is if I'm streaming it and I don't actually think about how much time has passed. And when I do finally look at the clock, 6 hours have passed. That's exactly what happened in this game.
The PoE time dilation effect.
Yes, 100%.
I know exactly what you speak of.
100%. It's what happens in this game. I did not even realize how much time had actually occurred because I was having so much fun. And that's not to say that the game is like super demanding of your attention. It is, but I never found myself. And I'm curious for people in the chat, like I never found myself having to actually think about being on the beat. I hate this word, but I like organically was on the beat in terms of just moving. Like I didn't have to think about it. And I think that just speaks to how good the music is that you can pick up on the beat so easily the first time you hear it and just immediately start playing to it, which is fantastic. Each area, by the way, has like their own stuff. So if you're in like the Lost Woods, that has Lost Woods music. If you're in the the Stormy area, there's Song of Storms, which is like the big Zelda song that's been remixed. Cool. If you're in Shops, that's there. They have the merchant. He sings or she sings sometimes to like famous Zelda music, and it's fantastic. It's a hell of a thing.
The shopper keeper.
Yeah, the shopper keeper. Yeah, I played primarily as Zelda, but you can play as Link and you can play as Cadence in the game. But for whatever reason, Zelda was kind of my go-to. Each person has some different abilities.
That's what I was going to say. Are they like? Is it multiple playthrough worthy?
Yeah, I mean they're pretty vast. Like, for example, Zelda in particular has one. I don't have it here at this particular point in the game, but has, if you hit, I think it's either left bumper or left trigger. I think it's bumper. She like creates a bomb, and then the bomb, which you have to move to the beat, kind of can move forward and move around the map. So if people are kind of like in an area, you can move the bomb over there and then just explode it. And that was really strong and definitely got me out of some interesting situations. The other thing that you get very early on in the game is like a shield. I never used it at once, only to the dismay of chat, because anytime I would die, I'd be like, God, there's some fuck. And they're like, you didn't use the shield. I was like, I don't have a shit. I have a shield. And I just never used it at all. It never crossed my mind to use it. I was much more offensively minded, I guess is what I would say. I don't know what Zelda or Cadence have. I think, or sorry, I don't know what Link or Cadence have. I think they have shields that you can actually like wear and use. And I'm not sure if one's harder or more easier than the other. I didn't really ever play them at all. I stuck to Zelda. There is some mechanics where, and it kind of gets a little spoilery, but there's mechanics where you're kind of forced, I guess, to play the other guys, but it's very brief. And so I didn't really pick up on their mechanics at all. But I had a great time. Music obviously carries this game. It's fucking phenomenal. There's so many amazing songs in this. And if you've ever played a Zelda game, from the first one to Ocarina of Time to anything, you're going to recognize the songs. Like from the second you hit start, without a doubt. They're fucking bangers. They're great.
So, real quick, someone just said something in chat that I had no idea about. The overworld is procedurally generated?
Yes. So there's seeds in each, and apparently some are more difficult than others. I was told that a couple maps that I did were, and I'm sure this happens, I'm sure every seed has like an easy version of this particular tile set or map. But some of the more difficult ones, I was told I had like the easy route by people in chat. I don't know how true that is. But yeah, they are randomly generated, and you can actually go and type a seed number that someone else has played. They had the forethought for that. So yeah, a hell of a thing. I never knew that I wanted a Zelda / Necrodancer mashup, but here we are. Fucking hell of a thing. It's fantastic.
Here we are.
Yeah, I absolutely love this game.
Now, I wanted to ask as far as because the tunes are familiar. Yeah.
Yes.
Most of them.
All of them.
If not all.
Yeah, for me it was all of them. Yeah.
And I know and love Danny B, but are they different enough to like you notice like the difference and it enhances it?
Difference in what? The actual beat of the song, or the actual composition
are
of the
they
song?
different? Are the songs like they're like cover band songs, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Are they different enough to like you notice like, man, I love what they did. I love what he did with this.
Yes, 100%. I mean,
okay.
We'll do a test here. I'll pipe this through.
I haven't heard it yet. I'm actually asking because I mean, I don't want to assume.
They were able. Yes, Nintendo gave them what feels like free reign. We might hear me talking a bit here, but the music was pretty loud when I was playing, so we'll just see how it goes.
Behind a monitor.
It's like the main theme.
There's some interference. That'd be weird.
But then it dies down when all the mobs die.
Let me try to reposition this one.
Okay.
Oh man, I'm excited for this one.
There's puzzles like this, which are really cool. Scrub can dream.
That looks awesome.
There's a couple of these where they play like super famous songs. It also is the type of thing where you try to kill everything. And then you have to make that. Like you have to play it back. So they kind of teach you.
Oh,
like,
okay.
And there's a couple things like this. I want to try to find some like amazing. This song in particular was really good. And this is more Necrodancer-y than Zelda. What a bitch. This sounds like Necrodancer to me, less Zelda.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
I'm glad you can hear.
I'm sorry. What?
Like Necrodancer in the remakes or the remakes. Is that a fair thing to say? Remakes of the song.
Something
Remixes.
That, yeah.
Remixes.
These are remixes of the themes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just didn't know like the proper nomenclature to use.
So this right here, Garuda. It's great. It's that type of music. It's great. It's fantastic stuff.
Yeah, that's great, man.
Yeah. So it's all that.
I would
more.
love to hear the shopkeeper sing, because Danny actually tweeted about like how much joy he gets when people laugh.
Let's
Like the oh, there it is right there.
Yeah. Let's see. I'll see if I can pipe
When
something.
they hear the shop.
I don't know what the other
shop
options
breath.
were. Yeah. What just happened? You also get a ton of different things. Like all those inventory slots there fill up with all these different type of items that you
Hold
can
the
use.
button down to release on the following beat to fire an arrow that can hit enemies
Damn.
from a distance. Oh, nice.
There's magic spells. You get scrolls. There's a billion different types of weapons. Well, there's 5 types, but like variants.
Ah, I see
each
what
one.
happened. Okay.
I'm talking twice, and it's really annoying. Go downstairs so we can hear the shopkeeper. Kind of hear him.
I don't know how that worked.
We'll wait, JP. If you would just go to the left.
Oh, okay. I see how it works. Oh, I'm out of arrows. Fuck.
Here you go. Now, does it function like Necrodancer as far as mechanically when you hit like an enemy, like you're in their space?
Yes and no. Certain weapons do. This is a little different one.
How many do I have?
Oh, he's not even singing it. Oh. That type of stuff.
Yes.
It's good.
So good. Oh yes.
That's
It
good
makes me
stuff.
so happy.
That's
That's great.
awesome.
Yeah. So hell of a game, man. It's really good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So Zeke, some weapons have like, and some power-ups have things where if you kill it, you will occupy the space of the thing you just killed. And there's also mechanics where like they have a flail, and a flail attacks in like an L shape. So then you can start like jumping to the left of like diagonally from a mob, and it'll hit it. Or there's
Right, that's Necrodancer.
Yeah, and there's weapons where it has like the arc in front, so it has like the 3 hits. And then when you die, so the actual mechanics of the game is you get diamonds every time you clear a map, and also for doing
Right,
other
sure.
things like completing a certain level and stuff like that. Then when you die, you can spend those diamonds on things that you immediately see when you spawn, but you can also go to a shop and buy stuff, and there's rubies and stuff that you can spend to buy other stuff as well. But it's kind of persistent in the sense that your HP is always there, and it's always the max amount of hearts. You get hearts for doing certain things. And you can also just find heart containers across the world. There's hidden walls and stuff that just like Zelda, where it just has like the tiny little crack. And you have to know like,
Right.
oh, that's a bomb spot. I need to go get a bomb and put that there. And so it's like a really good mix of the 2 games, for sure.
Mechanically, the rhythm in like keeping the beat in Necrodancer, like increase your coin gain. What is the mechanic of this one? Does it increase your damage or?
So there's multiple types, I believe. One of them, it does increase your damage.
Okay.
There's a damage multiplier that can be applied to weapons. And then there's a couple other ones as well. There's also different modes where there's like a permadeath mode. There's a double tempo mode that I did for about 30 seconds after I beat the game, and it was like, fuck this. Because it's like, it's double. So you're doing, instead of, I don't know the actual like musical way to talk about this, but it's 2 times tempo, and it's a shit
The
ton of
beat
notes.
combo improves the loot you get when you clear the screen. Okay.
Oh, I didn't even know that. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just wanted the reward mechanic for keeping the beat in this iteration.
Yeah. It's a good game. And then you can see it up there at the top. You have a weapon, you have shovels, you have torches, you have rings, and you have boots, and all those different
260.
things. Oh, that's the BPM. That's what you're trying to say.
This is a 130, which is a standard for electro, and then double would be 260.
There you go. It's 260 BPM. Yeah,
That's BPM.
Yeah.
Beats per minute.
that makes sense. I wonder what the fastest song is BPM wise in the game. I don't know what that. Maybe someone in chat would know that. Yeah, and there's a huge amount of variances when it comes to items. You can get like boots that allow you to float over certain things. You can get rings that pierce armor. You can get rings that give you HP back on death. You can get, all that type of stuff and more. Then, of course, there's bombs. There's power gloves, so you can pick things up. There's bottles, so you can go and get a fairy and put a fairy in there, and it'll heal you. You can get HP potions, so when you actually do get below, or when you are supposed to die, it gives you full HP again. All that stuff's there. It's a really good mix of Zelda and Necrodancer, and a fantastic game. I cannot recommend it enough. It is a little pricey. I want to, yeah. What? And
it's also on Switch only, which was I understand. Of course, it's only on Switch.
Right.
It's a Zelda title.
Sure.
I understand that, but ugh.
I could not think of PC, sure, but I could not think of a better platform for this to be on for what it is. I think this is a perfect Switch game. I did not have any issues with it, but that's because I have a Switch, right? If I didn't have a Switch and I only had a PC, I'd be probably upset as well.
Right.
But
I have a Switch. I'm not saying it's just I hate having to break out my Switch if I want to stream it or whatever. But I think it's something that will definitely be a travel game for me for sure.
Yes.
Oh wait, it's Switch only?
It is Switch only, yeah.
Zelda, bro.
It's Zelda, yeah. Nintendo's not letting that shit on PC forever.
Oh.
In perpetuity, without a doubt.
I have to get my Switch hooked back up.
That's true. But, there's a lot of games coming out for Switch. You should probably keep it out. You got Mario Maker, you got Astral Chain, you got all that stuff. So, yeah. How much is this? Is it $29.99 or $39.99? I want to say it's $39.99. Okay, it's $25. I was wrong on both. Okay, $25, great price for this. What was it? Oh, Bloodstained is expensive, which is another game we'll be talking about. That's the one that's very pricey. That I've also played. But we'll get to that when we get to that. So yeah, I highly recommend this game. I cannot wait for you guys to play it because the music is fantastic. Danny B has been out there both in my chat and also on his own Twitter saying that he cannot say any details about the existence or the not existence of a soundtrack coming sometime in the future. It's Nintendo, right? Elspeth couldn't even announce that she was the voice of Cadence until this game came out. So that's just how Nintendo does it. And it's a great game, regardless. You should play it.
I am playing this in 2 days.
Oh, on Friday?
Yes, I'm doing a charity stream with Guardian Con from 8 to 12 on Friday, and I'm going to be playing Crypt of the Necrodancer for it.
That's a good game for it, I would say. It's a really good game. Just the only thing I'll say is this might make it go by too quick, so make sure that you're just saying, hey, make sure to donate to charity every map, because 2 hours is going to zoom by when you play this game. At least it did for me. Co, speaking of games that you've been playing, what are you doing?
Danganronpa?
Yeah, why? What's going on here? This started out as a goof, right? What?
This started out as a charity reward.
Yeah.
So basically, for Guardian Con last year, we came up with a list of games that I never planned on playing, but I wanted to do. So, that people suggested, things that have been suggested to me lots and lots of times. So one of those games was Danganronpa. One was Doki Doki Literature Club, which I also ended up finishing. And I gotta say, man, it is not what I expected. Now, I thank you for playing the trailer. It's very important to mention that almost anything from my stream will be a spoiler. And I hate to say it, but it's just
can
the
you
way
explain
the game
that? What? How? Is it just story based? Is that?
This game is at heart, it's a visual novel, and most of the time you will be having characters on the screen saying dialogue, and it gets you through it. And see, that's one of the reasons I skipped it, was because I just thought it was a visual novel. And I was like, I don't really do visual novels. I'm not really interested. They don't require a lot of thought. The game just kind of plays itself. I don't really think that's for me. I don't really just want to have a story told to me. I want to play something. I want there to be gameplay. And people were like, well, just check out Danganronpa. You'll see what it's like. So I started it up, and Danganronpa is a visual novel with light gameplay elements, including some mini games, but primarily it's an investigation. The whole game is about not only trying to figure out what's going on, but then there's like mini things going on in each chapter. So it turns out instead of to be this like weird whodunit like scenario tucked inside of this greater what the hell is going on situation, combined with lots of killing of teenagers. And I mean, like it's much more violent than I anticipated. It's much more it's much darker than I anticipated. It was, and more importantly, the thing that kept me playing it after the time that I was I only had to play 2 hours of this game.
Right. Yeah.
And that turned into 4 hours. And now I've streamed it about 20 hours. And I'm like just getting to the end. And it's the kind of thing where, from what I thought the story would be telling to me, was actually like, it turned out to be the opposite. Where like, not only are you not getting told all the story, but a huge part of the game is taking the very small amount that you're given and trying to figure out the greater picture. And that hooked me. That's the part where I was like, oh, like, this is really cool. Like, there's a lot going on in this. And, you know, it's been really fun because a lot of people in chat know what's going on and they kind of like help you along. But at the same time, the real hardcore Danganronpa fans, which I've met many of over the last couple weeks, they're the last people that are going to spoil it for you.
Sure.
In fact, if anything, some of them will attempt to mislead you.
Right.
Like in heavy ways.
I get that.
Yeah, so it's become a lot more interesting, and it's been a lot of fun streaming it, especially up to the point where I am. Also, the game is just funny. It pokes fun at itself. There's definitely some fourth wall stuff, some very funny fourth wall stuff. A lot of references, and many of them are very dated. So like, there's references that like they make a reference to the Quantum Leap TV show, and it's like,
okay,
like what is your target audience exactly? Like, it's very.
Well,
very strange.
The question,
and also another thing about it that makes it hard for me is people ask me all the time, especially over the last couple of weeks, is like, what would you compare this game to?
Right. Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like,
okay.
Yeah, it's an experience.
Well, let me ask you this. This will sound judgmental, and I don't mean it to be, but it's probably going to appear that way. The people that in chat are talking about this favorably either have an anime-ish name or an anime avatar in Twitch. Do you have to like anime to enjoy this?
This is a Japanese game at heart. I mean, it is an anime game at heart.
Okay.
But that being said, there are many elements of this game that have absolutely nothing to do with anime. The parts that hooked me had nothing to do with anime. And to be blunt, one of the reasons I had not tried it before now is because I was thinking it was something that only people that liked anime could really enjoy.
Okay.
I hope that answers your question.
I think it did. Yeah. Yeah.
I am not.
Says, JP, you played Tales games for fuck's sake. You're not wrong. Again.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. Thank you, chat. I was going to kind of mention that. Like, slide
look,
that in there,
I enjoyed Kingdom Hearts. That's some fucking weeb as it gets, in my opinion.
It's like Disney weeb. It's got its own. It's own flavor. It's a subgenre of weeb.
Yeah,
a Diz weeb.
Yeah. I'm someone in chat also says that I am a enigma when it comes to my anime fandom and the animes that I enjoy.
Oh, just a dweeb. Oh, I like that. That's better. Just a dweeb.
That's not bad.
There we go.
That's not bad.
It is important to mention that it's about 80% reading. So I don't know if that's an immediate turnoff for you. It is a lot of reading. However, the dialogue is done in small snips. So there's only ever generally like 1 to 2 lines of dialogue on the stream. So as many people told me, because I was having some vocal issues during it because I was doing so much reading and I don't really do too well with that. Like a lot of people in chat were saying, like, it's cool if you don't want to read it all. Like, there's definitely more important things to read. And if you just kind of put it on auto or go slowly, like generally people in chat can kind of keep up without you having to read out every single thing. But it also is important to mention that again, without spoiling it too much, there are major events that happen at the end of every chapter, like this sequence that kind of repeats itself. And that sequence, which is arguably the longest part of each chapter in some cases, is fully voice acted. So, and like every character generally talks in those sequences. Those sequences also involve like 4 to 6 different types of mini game generally. So it kind of keeps you as a gamer, you know, they're all rather rudimentary, but at the same time keeps you a little bit engaged and stuff. And also those involve logic puzzles. So you'll be given like a series of things that have something related or to do with what's going on, and you have to like puzzle through like, okay, this means this, which would not work with this, but would work with that, but maybe the first part of that would work with the second part, but maybe that means this. Let me look at that one again. Okay, let me get the description there. No, that doesn't have anything to do with that. So like you kind of have to break down what's going on and kind of like, you know, it makes it think. Makes it think. Some of them are blindingly obvious. Others are just kind of like complete head scratchers.
Does it have enough lewdness, violence, like TVMA shit to keep me interested?
There is a lot of lewdness. In fact, there's an entire character, Zeke, that I think you would just love. Both a combination of murderous rapture and lewdness.
Okay.
There are the whole game is violent. I mean, I don't think it's a spoiler to say essentially like, well, there's a lot of murder. Like so this game is essentially about like, murder, and it's a group of like it is. This is like a teen game. This is a teen game. So basically, it's like it. I feel like it pushes the boundaries of like teen level violence, but at the same time, you're witnessing execution. So like it's you're not going to see anything adult, but at the same time, it's certainly not something like I would not want my young teen playing this game.
Sure.
Okay.
So you think I would like it?
It deals with some pretty heavy, dark stuff at times, and like people begging for their life, and then you know, like it's there's parts of it that are certainly a little uncomfortable. Yeah.
Okay.
So you think I'd like it then?
I think you could give it a go. I think you would know in your first stream if this was something you would like. Like, I don't think there'd be a lot of gray area. I do think that you would have a lot of fun with the voices, and I think you could have a lot of fun with the characters. I think it's worth a try. I will say that. I definitely think
it's been on my like radar along with Doki Doki for like forever, and it's just one of the, I don't have an aversion to it. I just haven't got to it yet. It's one of those things like maybe I'll get to it then. Oh, something else came out, and that kind of shit. It's just been like push back and push back. However, I will say the reason why I laughed is because my viewers and chat or community or whatever know me so well. She-Lady said, Zeke, they use the term fap sauce. I was like,
yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
All right. I guess you're right.
Sure.
That
was pretty great.
Definite selling point for me.
Yeah.
Also, I don't remember the exact line, but at one point, oh God, what was it? At one point, one of the characters is like, so wait, no. They don't mean your mouth up here. They mean her mouth down there. Like stuff like that definitely comes out of nowhere. And it's just like,
how many games are there within this IP, this franchise? There's a lot, right? Like,
3.
Oh, really? That's it?
So far I know there's Danganronpa, and that's Trigger Happy Havoc. And then there's Danganronpa 2. Oh, there's 4, chat saying. Okay. The Mouth Down South. There it is. But yeah, there's Danganronpa 2, which, by the way, I have gotten that question more this entire playthrough than any other. I see you're enjoying Danganronpa. Please tell me you're going to play Danganronpa 2. It's the best one. Like, please play 2. Please play 2. Like, apparently that's the big one. And then I heard 3 is actually pretty good too. So
this is, I'm grasping at straws to try to reimagine what I remember this being. Was there a Danganronpa where it was like in a classroom or something, and it came out on like the PS3 along? Because I saw that everywhere. That might be the second one. But
Danganronpa takes place in a school.
Maybe that's what I saw. Oh no, I'm thinking of Disgaea. Never mind. I'm thinking of it. Are those comparable at all? Is Disgaea?
I have no idea. I don't even know what Disgaea is. Okay. I've heard of it, but I've never played it.
They're not comparable. Okay.
That's saying no. They're not
Chat's
related.
Emphatically saying no, not at all. Gotcha. Some people even passively aggressively saying no. ...
Not even close.
Not even close. Loser.
Even close. I'm pretty sure that if you listened to that one enough, you would have heard it in the background.
I think
like
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
My camera's just gonna turn off. Someone's gonna come and grab me from my computer for even making
Yeah.
that comparison.
Where's the big wooden hook?
Yeah.
And pull you off.
Jesus. You think I would have offended their family tree?
But yeah, anyway, going back to what we were talking about, Zeke, I'd love to see you try this game. I would say it, like, give it a good, and I know this is a lot, especially with how many games on your plate. I'd say give it like a good half of a stream, like a good 4 hours, because they're the first couple hours are kind of exposition-y, kind of getting to understand the situation, figure out what's going on, and then like all of a sudden it starts ramping up, and then like something happens, followed by something else. And at the end of that something else, if you aren't hooked at that point, then I doubt you'd be hooked. But that's the part for me. I was just like, oh, well, looks like we'll be playing more of this game. So,
Yeah,
and
no,
then we just kind of went from there.
Nice.
I bought Danganronpa, Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. I bought it in March of this year, so I've owned it for a while. It's
Oh, so you
like
plan
been
to
on my
play it.
radar for a long time, so
Oh.
I've
Oh,
been planning
also-
on playing it.
Yeah.
The soundtrack. If you like Persona 5 music, it's definitely got the
Do indeed.
shimmy in it. I find myself just kind of doing this the whole time. Like every time a few tracks come up, I'm like, yeah, all right. Like, let's go. That's good.
Sorry, I'm hearing random noises in my office. I'm confused. Go ahead, Zeke.
No, sorry, I didn't know if we were gonna move on from Danganronpa or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, we're good. Yeah, no,
good.
that's it. That's Danganronpa. Oh, also, Zeke, I would also recommend Doki Doki.
Okay,
Yeah, for sure.
that's also been on my fucking radar forever as well. But the reason why I'm not going to be playing it anytime soon is because I got a very cool early access that I'm going to be playing tomorrow at noon. Judgment, baby. Sega was nice enough to give me a key to that, and the embargo was lifted today, so
Yeah, I saw
I can play
Bronze
it all
is
I
playing
want
it.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Bronze is playing. That's just a Yakuza game, right? I'm sorry. I know that sounds like dismissive, but that's
No,
just
it's
another
fair.
Yakuza game, right?
No,
Okay.
It's fair.
it's
Yeah.
by these guys.
It's the same. It's the same devs, all that shit.
What?
Oh, you got the care package too. Okay.
What did they put on the back of yours?
They put Ezekiel the third. Hold on, right here.
Damn it.
What? Why do they put code?
that was my,
What'd they put
my
on yours?
cosplay from Yakuza.
They put Koromi. Oh, funny.
That was what I
Oh,
played
yeah,
Kuromi-chan.
Yeah, dude.
Nice. Very nice.
My name right there. But it's by the same devs. I played a little bit of it during the pre-show, because they brought the demo copy of it, and it plays a lot like it. It's not in the same world, not in the same universe, but it definitely, like, the combat feels very similar, like almost exactly the same. But this one is a detective drama. Like, you have to, like, you go to like crime scenes, you study it, you find clues and shit like that. So different story, different protagonist, a lot of familiar things to it, like mechanically. And I think Kamurocho is back, which is kind of a fictional place.
Okay.
I mean, not Kamurocho. Well, there was a fictional place that they kept going back to in the Yakuza series.
Japan.
It is Kamurocho. No, I think Kamurocho is a made-up place. Yes, okay. So Kamurocho is a made-up place.
Why don't we play the game first and we'll talk about it next? Are we talking about playing the game? Is that what's going on?
I'm excited to play it. That's why I wanted to tell you guys. I'm just super excited.
Look, here's my
Okay,
thing.
never mind.
Yakuza's had the most airtime of any game without a doubt on this show. So anymore.
Are you sure, POE bitch?
100% Yakuza is definitely
No,
yes.
fucking no
Because
way.
I shut up when I talk about PoE because I know it goes on. You and Co just blabber Yakuza this, Yakuza's the greatest game. 100% goes on without a doubt.
Right.
I'm not saying it's bad.
And I'm not calling
just
you
saying
a
it's
bitch.
thing.
I mean, that's
saying
cool. No, I'm gonna let you finish.
you're
But
a bitch of
Yakuza's
the game.
awesome. Okay, do we need to go over this again?
Undertow.
Jesus. How much are they paying you? All right, because I'm not getting the money. We give them so much advertising. I need to talk to the Yakuza right now. Get them on the line. We got to have
Funny
a
thing is,
conversation.
I don't think I've ever done a sponsored stream for them. It's always just been like a free game and early access to play it.
Their community
Okay.
management team's really good for sure. Because I know both you guys and Bike Man and Bronze, like anyone that plays that game on Twitch, they are in that chat and or talking to that streamer about how they can work with them in the future, which is great.
They are very cool about that. Sega is honestly one of the better Japanese companies in terms of NA reach out. Like they've got a very solid team.
I would say
On
like
that
the
stuff.
best. Like I'm
One of-
struggling to think who would even rival that. In terms
Believe
of
it or
Japanese
not,
devs.
Even though there was a pretty crazy mix-up recently, the Bandai Namco guys are generally pretty good too, as long
Oh,
as they
yeah.
don't get kind of like shoehorned by publisher issues like they have been a few times in the past. But anyway, to go what we were saying earlier, Judgment is essentially Yakuza. It even uses 2 different styles. I mean, in Yakuza we're used to 3, but the combat's the same. A little bit more refined. Like everything's been polished. There's been some enhancements put in as well. But the fundamental differences is going to be the fact that in this time, where in Yakuza games it's basically like walking around, cutscenes, and fighting. This game is big about walking around, fighting, cutscenes, and then this whole like investigation / trial side where you're, they've made entire, from what I understand because I haven't played it, they've made entire mechanics that are designed to like do this whole investigative side of the game. I know personally that's what I'm really looking forward to. I'm hoping it's kind of like Danganronpa where you kind of the player has to puzzle stuff out where it's not really just handed to you. It's not like go and find the 3 clues. I found the 3 clues. The guy's guilty. Like a lot of stuff do. I kind of hope it's more like, oh, I got 3 clues, but what do they mean? What order's in? Let's reconstruct what happened. Let's see if it's actually this guy. So yeah, should be pretty cool.
All right.
Should be pretty cool. I have high hopes for this game.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm sure we'll talk about it a lot next week.
Yep.
And then you've been playing the Surge. We talked about it on the show. You played it. When did that game come out? 2 years ago? Is that 2 years old?
2 years ago. Yep. And now it has 2 full DLCs as well as some free ones as well. Yeah. I mean, dude. I don't know what to say. I really like Surge. I've really enjoyed it. Like this was the 3rd time I played through it. I finished the playthrough this morning.
Oh, wow.
I used 3 different weapon types. Each time it was fun. We definitely tried to figure out the story a little bit more this time. Sort of got it, but it's still pretty complex. And this time, more importantly, we really kind of traced it all the way through to the point where Surge 2 is picking up. And Surge 2 is a game I am extremely excited for. Probably like one of the only people on Twitch. No one else I talk to has any real like urge to play Surge 2, but I am hugely looking forward to it. 10 different weapon types. They have like dual single weapons now, so like an entire weapon type is a weapon that breaks into 2, and then you do all sorts of stuff with that. The story looks cool. You make your own character, like Prodigy. I'm sold. But yeah, so it was a lot of fun playing again. Not a lot to really talk about it.
Yeah, we talked about it before.
Oh, one thing I will say is if you're interested in playing the Surge, it's on Game Pass.
Oh, nice.
So
that's right. I
have
did see
Game Pass.
that.
Check out the Surge. Yep, and definitely a cool game.
Yeah.
I do have the urge to Surge. That is correct.
That's also on PC, right? Like it's multi-platform. The Surge.
I believe. I mean, I only played it on PC. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure the Game Pass is on PC as well.
Okay. Oh, right. Yeah, because Xbox is on PC now. Right. Yeah, that's the thing. I forgot. Zeke, did you do anything else besides Indie Sunday, or was it just Indie Sunday in terms of games that you played?
Nope. That was it.
We
I think.
we could
I
do
played a
some-
little bit of Beat Saber
Oh yeah. Okay.
again, but that was it. That's God damn. Like the only reason I would ever recommend, or only reason I would promote the Vive over the PSVR is the Beat Saber on with the mod. Like you can like
Yeah.
song creation and level creation and shit like that. That is the hugest drawback for the PSVR. And I understand that how they like can't do that. It's not, there's no like Steam Workshop for it or whatever.
Yeah.
But hopefully in the future they do it. They open it up for that kind of thing to happen.
Sounds good.
I spent like $26 on Monster Cat, 12 Monster Cat songs and 12 fucking Imagine Dragon songs.
Yeah, I bought the same. At least on the I bought the Monster Cat
Oh,
packs on
Trover!
PC. So Zeke,
right.
I'm going to pose a question to you. We can either do Indie Sunday or do
Okay.
Trover because we have to do Crazy Dan questions, and I do want to talk about Bloodstained.
Yep.
So which one do you want to do, Indie Sunday or Trover?
Don't worry about any Sunday. It was a dad themed day, so there wasn't anything new in there. It was just like found some dad themed games, and it was just goofy fun.
Okay,
We don't really have to talk about that.
Let's talk about Justin Roiland's Stream of Consciousness, the game. Let's talk about Trover. What is going on in this?
Trover saves the universe. It is. It's so much a Justin Roiland game. It's crazy. It's VR makes the game better,
Yeah.
but I would say it's not absolutely necessary to play this game. I ended up playing, I would say probably 60 to 70% without the VR headset on, just because I was streaming it. If I was playing on my own, I totally would have played the whole thing in VR. But since I was streaming, I wanted the chat interaction and stuff like that. So I was able to play it without the VR headset on. But that aside, it's the humor in it is absolutely Rick and Morty style humor.
Yeah.
Extended. It's like
Unfiltered.
every time, not only unfiltered, but like every time in the studio they were like, "All right, that's enough, Justin. You don't need to. You can just stop." And he like this is when no one's telling him to cut, basically.
The game.
So,
I got that
shit you come
exactly
up on-
from watching you for 5 minutes.
My God, some of the shit you come up on, like there will be minutes of dialogue that you will miss if you progress through the game like a normal gamer would progress through it. You will miss. Oh God, I like 80% of the dialogue if you progress through the game like a normal game. But it's so worth it just to stop, put down the controller, and listen to two NPCs, like two bad guys, talk to each other. Because it's improvisational, it's crass, it's not edited, it's just really. If you don't like improv or Justin Roiland's sense of humor, you will hate this fucking game. But if that shit appeals to you like it does to me, let me just put it to you this way. There is a section of a game where you find these prisoners in this area, and each prisoner has like something to say. There's one prisoner talks about escaping the prison, like Andy Dufresne, Shawshank Redemption.
Right. Yeah.
And he goes on a 10-minute soliloquy about piss and shit. And I'm not kidding you. He just says like, and I'm going to like crawl through the piss, and the piss is gonna mix with the shit, and it's gonna be shitty piss shit, and then it's gonna be on me, and it's gonna be in me, and I'll probably have to eat some of the shit, and then the shit and piss will mix, and I'll be like a shit piss person. I'm not kidding you. I don't know if it was 10 minutes, but damn close. It was inordinately long.
Yeah.
And I listened to the entire thing, and I was fucking dying laughing. This is one of the rare games that my stomach hurt, my cheeks hurt from just like laughing because of the absurdity of it and the length at which he went and didn't stop, didn't cut.
Nobody
you think it's going to end,
Yeah, no one
and it
stops
doesn't
him.
fucking end.
Dude, I watched you in front of the puzzle that's not solvable, and he just says like, "Fuck it, fuck this stupid puzzle, fuck this puzzle. We're just gonna bash the door down." I watched you do that for like 30 minutes, and even though it was the same dialogue after like a 4-minute loop or so, I'm still laughing, just because of how absurd the dialogue was, and the fact that they put a puzzle that's not solvable, and it's just so he can get a goofy line in there to like shit on the developers for making these stupid games with these stupid puzzles.
Yep.
And then he just bashes the door down and you move forward.
Z, did you beat this game?
Yes, I absolutely beat it. I beat it. I got all the green power babies. I
Collectibles?
almost 100%ed it.
Damn.
Ooh.
I don't know.
How long
I
did it take?
don't think I did though. What's that?
How long did it take you?
That's a good question. I want to say like a broadcast and a half,
Oh, that's it?
10 to 12 hours, something like that.
Oh. Okay.
I think.
Good to know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's a relatively short game. Like if you know exactly what to do, you can probably get through the game in like a couple of hours if you don't stop and listen to the dialogue. But that's kind of like
It's the
how.
game.
Why would you be playing it if you aren't doing that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like padding. Like a lot of times you'll play a game and it's like they need to pad out the hours, what we have to put in. This it feels like you would miss most of the game if you didn't stop and listen to all the superfluous dialogue. And there's shit, if you go back through it, if you do different shit, like there's this area with these three big creatures and they're talking all at the same time. And they have this long like lore dump dialogue, funny improv shit. However, if you go and they start doing that shit and you walk away in the middle, because I went back through it to find some stuff. I started walking away, and the guy they shout at you. They're like, "Oh, you're just gonna walk away in the middle of us talking? Okay, I guess we didn't have to tell you any of that shit. Okay, fine. You can just keep walking." And then I came back to him. It's like, "Oh, you're back, huh? You thought maybe there was some important shit that you might want to hear us talk about? Oh, good for you. Way to go." Like that kind of shit. Like there's that shit all over the game, and it was fun as fuck. I mean, I don't know if it's worth the price because I think it was like
Yeah, I was about to
pretty
ask.
spendy game. I think it's like $30 or something.
Most
But
VS or most VR games on PSVR are a little bit expensive, $30-$40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the demos are like $5.
Yeah. Yeah. Chat's saying $30.
That's cool though. That's cool.
oh, and Ninjite, who's always he's my like a clip maker extraordinaire in a couple of channels.
Yeah.
Dropping the clips if you want to check out like what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Yeah, of him just going on forever.
Yeah. And yeah, it's a hilarious game. I had a blast. You can play it in VR or not, which is a bonus.
All right. Now, it's a bonus, so you don't need to play VR. You don't have to have VR headset for this.
No, it's not absolutely necessary.
I want to.
Is it VR only on the PS4?
No, that's
Or is
what
it
I
only
played
on the PS4 period?
I think it might be PS4 exclusive.
Oh really? Okay. No, chat's
Oh,
saying
it's
on
PC.
exclusive? Oh, it is on PC too. Okay,
That's
maybe I'm sorry, I'm out of my mind.
You're out of your mind.
Oh, that's right. I tried to play it on the Vive, and my Vive was fucking with me, and I was like, "Fuck this! I'm just getting it on PSVR. Fuck it."
Oh, okay.
Oh, all right. I don't know if
That has
perfect.
nothing to do with anything. It's just my Vive was being a piece of shit. I
Oh, is that
hated
where
it.
you broke your Vive? Is that
That
day
day.
where you broke your Vive?
Oh, I didn't break it.
It broke.
Per se. It's just that extra added like headphone thing that they put on it. Like they have these little tiny screws. I don't wear glasses, so I don't have the little tiny screwdriver shit.
Right.
Like screw that stuff in. Yada yada yada.
Okay. Cool. I don't need much time to talk about this next game, only because this game knows exactly what it is, and that is basically Symphony of the Night minus Konami and minus Castlevania. Because that's, if you like Symphony of the Night and you like those style of games that Castlevania popularized, it's exactly what this game is through and through. No questions about it. They even make jokes and references about how Symphony of the Night it is, and the fact that there's a guy named OD, and he's clearly a vampire, and he's clearly Dracula. And there's like a sprinkling of anime, I would say, in this. Just a tiny, tiny bit in terms of character design. Also, I think I picked a great scene because I want to say that there is a giant cat coming up, or that might not be this hallway. With all that said, I actually had a great time with this. I'm going to probably return to it later today. The art, I really enjoyed like the RPG side of this. There's crafting in the game. There's even farming in the game because you can make different types of food, which gives you buffs, both permanent and just healing buffs and stuff like that. You get familiars, which you can choose from and level those up. You get items, which then you can get more. They call them shards. It sounds like they're saying sharding the entire game, but it's sharding. And so the entire like first 30 minutes of the game, they're just talking about, oh yeah, you got to get your sharding. And I'm like, stop, please stop saying this. It's hard to take
Why
you
is
serious.
that funny?
Because it sounds like sharding.
Oh,
Sharding.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It sounded like it was hard to take it serious, but once you got past like all the dialogue and aspects of it, yeah, I enjoyed it. Like the RPG side of it is fantastic.
Tell me something. It looks
So that's
a
the
little
other thing.
slow.
Does
It feels slow.
Are you judging it by this gameplay, or are you judging it by just in general gameplay? Because this gameplay is slow because that
Gameplay
weapon
that
is
I-
slow.
the gameplay that I have looked at on Twitch, not just this, but it just seems like your character's animations and stuff seem a little bit slow. Does it feel like that at all? I'm probably just completely misreading.
I don't think it feels like that because there's so much stuff going on in terms of like input. Like it is each weapon has some sort of like ability. So like there's boots that you can use. Is like one of the weapon types. And the boots, if you do a Hadoken like input, like Street Fighter Hadoken input, it will do like a special move for that weapon. And every weapon type has a certain type. And that weapon in particular, the Kung Fu boots, will allow you to get across long obstacles. So you can actually like get mid to late game gear very early on by like jumping across the entire like map to hit a chest that you would have to use like the double jump for, which spoilers, this game has a double jump unlock. It's a fucking Symphony of the Night game.
What?
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah. There's probably, I haven't gotten it yet. I bet you there's some form of mist that you will get to allow you to pass through certain walls. There's also hidden walls like I'm getting right here. There's hidden rooms and everything. It's awesome. So I'm constantly like running around spamming every wall. There's chests that are set items that are also not set items. They're like random craft items, which are really good. A lot of the cool weapons that I found thus far have been like in pretty difficult like platforming sections or boss sections. I kind of lucked out and did the JP thing, which is where I found the most broken ability in the game really early on, and I've been using that, which is that giant drill saw that I can just...
That looks kind of nuts.
I can just spin it around 360 degrees and just do a shit ton of damage. And because of that, I've found bosses to be a little easy, so much so that like I'll just stand there and use my entire HP bar just fucking drilling them and then walk up and like one tap them, and I kind of skip a lot of mechanics. But it's useful and it's in the game, so I'm not going to stop. And
it's kind of the point of it, right?
I would assume. Yeah, I think so. And there's definitely moments where I'll reach like an area somewhat like this that is both one, a secret, and two, I'm very under-leveled for it, and I'll just get absolutely owned. But I am playing this game on normal. There's two normal is like the base difficulty. There's nothing easier than normal, but I think there's normal, hard, and nightmare. And I've died a handful of times. I wish I could say that you should play this on hard, but I don't know how much the difficulty ramps up. I don't know.
Do we know what kind of difficulty it is? Is it
I don't. I don't know if it's more HP on the mobs or if they do more damage or what. Maybe chat might be able to help that. But I've died I think I've died.
Oh, you can only start on normal.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
There you go. Hardest new game plus home.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I did not realize that. And that's probably because there's a second playable character, which maybe only unlocks on second playthrough. I'm not sure. That a little bit spoilery, so I don't want to talk too much about that. But and I only know that because they're out there kind of with promotional material saying, "Hey, there's a second playable character." But the other weird thing about this game is that this game was kickstarted like 4 years ago, and so it's interesting to see what has occurred in those 4 years. I think the graphic appeal of the game is hit or miss. You're either like into this or you're not into this. I've seen people be both. I haven't really seen people be like, it looks all right. Like they either think this looks good or they think it looks like shit. It's really, and maybe that's just Twitch chat being Twitch chat. Maybe we're not going to get like a middling opinion on it there. But I think it looks fine. And so I'm continuing playing it. I'm having a great time. Like I said, the RPG stuff is really fun. The combat's fun. But it's kind of like what Ko was saying. It's slow in terms of appearance, but when shit gets hectic, it gets really hectic. And I've definitely found myself like panicking in a couple situations. Also, that's Shovel Knight. Yes, he's in the game as a character. The other thing too is it's I don't know what Castlevania game this came into play. Maybe it was Symphony of the Night, I guess. Each enemy that you kill has a chance to give you like their shard, which then allows you to do an ability that they have, and that could be a passive ability, an active ability, a familiar like that one that I have floating around me, who's if you've seen Thor Ragnarok, he's very much like Korg because he always attacks when the mob's dead and just stabs them after they're already dead. And so I just call him Korg. I think I have like one or two more familiars for that. But apart from that, like this game is Symphony of the Night. Like there's not much else I could say apart from that, except that I'm enjoying it a lot. It's a lot of fun.
Cool. Very cool.
I'm 38% in with like 38% map completion with I think 5.5 hours in. And I don't know if it's a Castlevania game, so it might be 200% completion because the whole thing might just be reversed for the latter half of the game, is what tends to happen in Castlevania games. But we'll just have to see. My other big gripe with the game is the supposed big bad at this point is named Jeeble. Every time I hear his name, I do exactly what you two just did. Because Jeeble is not an imposing name. And whenever he comes on the screen, they're like, Jeeble, no. And I'm like,
I don't even believe in Jeeble.
It's weird. It's weird. It's weird.
You have been slain by Jeeble?
I will say everything's voice acted. All the dialogue's voice acted.
Nice.
Well, no, actually, all the dialogue's voice acted. Yeah.
That actually sounds like something like a name for an alien that Justin Roiland would come up with.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, oh, the GB Jeebles.
Yeah. Those are all the weapons that I just saw that I have.
Covered
In this
shit
game.
in piss.
I think I found like around easily 60 or 70 weapons at this point in the game. So you have a lot of variants. They all attack differently. They all have certain moves. They can all be upgraded multiple times, and everything can be upgraded, which is kind of a cool selling point. You can see me struggling here with that spear because I had not used one yet. I'm preferring the swords right now. They're pretty fast attacking. I did get a Monkey King bar equivalent to where it can like go across the screen if you have MP, so that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah. The other thing, I spoke to a little bit anime. The main character is definitely an anime heroine, I will say. Very voluptuous, and you can change her attire and hair. And the other stuff, too, is the items that you put on will actually change the appearance. So, like, I'm wearing a cowboy hat as a piece of gear. The character's wearing a cowboy hat. Stuff happens with, like, scarves that you can wear. And, of course, the weapons have their different looks as well. So, the other thing is this game's $40, so it's kind of steep, I guess. I don't.
Well, it might be. How much gameplay? Do we have any idea?
Like I said, I'm 38% in map completion wise, and that's about 5 hours. So I don't know. know. $35. Sorry. Chat's saying someone said 20 to 30 hours. If it's that much, that's worth the price. If it's like 15 to 20 hours, I think you have to be into it for $40. I could definitely see this game going on sale as well because it's a kickstarted game. So you're shaking your head, Zeke.
With that drill thing, you make it look just so like
easy,
just lackluster. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like I'm just gonna go in here.
Yeah, I'll show. Should I show a boss? What do you guys think? Should I? I'm gonna spoil a boss.
I'm not gonna look. But go for it.
Let me spoil a boss. Cover your ears. Or your eyes. Their eyes.
Cover your earballs.
Yeah. Where is the boss? Well, now the fucking VOD's frozen. The platforming is definitely harder than the mobs, I would say. By the way. Where the hell is this?
Maybe they don't even want you to show it, dude.
They don't. Yeah. I'm clicking on it right here and it's in the thumbnail. There it is. This is a boss.
Oh, wow, dude.
And it's pretty
dope.
fucking cool looking. But as you can see, I didn't move from this spot, Zeke. I found the cheese run, speed run thing because I just pressed attack. And I beat the boss. So, yeah, looks cool, but I just kind of stood there.
I'm so glad we didn't know each other growing up because you'd be that fucker, be like, low kick, low kick, low kick, low kick. Be like, fucking stop doing that.
Actually, that was my brother, and it resulted in a lot of fights growing up. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Because I was the guy trying to look like a badass, trying to like do a combo like, after a fireball, and he'd be like, "Actually, I'm just gonna keep low kicking you, you fucking idiot," and then I'd lose and get really salty. Yeah, yeah,
Questions?
yeah. If you guys have any thoughts
time
on that
or-
stuff, yeah, we can do some questions as well. I'm gonna continue playing it. I might have a different opinion on it tomorrow, next week. So we'll talk about it then, because I'm definitely not done with the game back yet. I want to return to it, but. We got some questions. We have about 7 minutes or so till we're supposed to end. We'll probably go a tiny bit over because these are definitely longer than usual.
If you guys want to go a little long, I have to go probably like right around 4. I got a 4:00 meeting.
Okay.
So
Gotcha. We'll start this right now.
I actually would like to, leave on time as well. I've got my mom.
Sure. Well, then that's on you guys. Give short answers. Last week, we witnessed the launch of Google Stadia, which claims you can put a game down and pick it up on whatever device you prefer when you're on the go. My question is why? Other than to distract kids, do we really need to be gaming everywhere we go in our daily lives? If that is the case with some people, does that sort of thing only make the, quote, gaming disorder a legitimate thing? What do you guys think? Not a bad question.
Gaming is everywhere we go anyways. If you want to game wherever you go, you can do that very easily right now.
Yeah.
I don't think it's
yeah, I think it's just about accessibility at the end of the day. Like it's on the consumers to decide if that's like how they're going to use it. If it's the type of thing that you're getting it so your kids can play on your phone and then close it on your phone and not lose progress because they start playing on your TV right afterwards. Is that cool? Sure. Is that something that parents could utilize? Yeah. Should they? I don't know. That's not for me to decide. I'm not the parent of that kid.
why.
So-
The question is why.
yeah.
oh, go ahead.
Other than distract our kids, what do we need to be gaming everywhere we go in our daily lives? It's a shitty answer, but yeah, why not? Like when I'm traveling, when I'm on the move, or for people who are like part of the bridge and tunnel crowd who have to like take trains into
Right.
work, do that shit. Like, absolutely, I think it's absolutely fine. Why not?
And the big thing is it was nailed earlier. It's accessibility. I mean, it's great if you can sit down in a room or a place that you're comfortable in and game on a PC or console for hours every day. That's awesome. But not everyone has that opportunity. Some people are transient. Some people work all the time, and the only place they can game is to and from work, just like Zeke said. You know, some people are soldiers and may not be in any situation where they're comfortable, but they have time they want to pass. Why can't they play on their Stadia on their phone in the mess hall while they're eating? Some people are parents, you know, and they have to be around their kid all the time, so they don't want to chain themselves to one place. It's all about accessibility. I kind of see it the same way I do mobile phones, to where it's like consoles and TV used to be the phones that we had in our house. If you wanted to use the phone, you had to go to a certain place at a certain location. You had to pick the phone up and put it back down right where it was. But now we have mobile phones. They're with us all the time. They're with us everywhere. And that's only made them more accessible and allowed us to do more things in more locations. It's the same thing that I would say with Google Stadia and mobile experiences. It's giving people more opportunities to do the thing they love in more places.
Yep.
Now, going to the second part, if that's the case with some people, does this sort of thing make the gaming disorder a legitimate thing? No. The whole thing with the gaming disorder stuff is a gaming disorder is like any disorder. It's when the target of the disorder is putting itself above basic priorities in your life, like other people, responsibilities, things of that nature. That has nothing to do with if you can do it in one location or another. It's kind of like a drug disorder. Like if you have a disorder over something, you're going to seek it out and do it wherever it is.
Right.
Like that's
Yeah,
the whole.
you're going to
that's the
carry
reason
that
it's disorder.
pocket
It's because
flask.
Yeah.
it's because you're not balancing it. Like you're going to do it regardless. And if you have to put other things down the totem pole to do it, that's what you're going to do because you have a disorder. So I wouldn't say that it's related to accessibility. It's a different can of worms.
Yep. I would agree. Question 2. JP mentioned a while back the negative impact of fanboys on the internet. In everyone's personal opinion, what is the amount of damage that, quote, fanboyism, end quote, can do on the internet or to a company? And is there truly anything that can be done to prevent such a personal disposition? I mean, I think the negative impact is just pick a fandom and think of something that's not gone well for that particular franchise in the past and go see what the fandom has done. Because there's going to be bad people in any fandom. I think that the most important thing is like you don't push it too far and you don't push your own opinions and your own fandom on someone else. And when they don't like it, you say, no, fuck you. You're going to like this fandom. That's where it gets dangerous. So
I think the one thing that can be done, or at least get the word out to help with this kind of shit, is remind people that you don't own this thing.
sure.
You're not an owner of this thing. You do not get to say you can't join our group because you don't own the thing.
Gatekeeping.
It's out there in the world. It's for everybody. If it's like consumable media or whatever, you just remind them it's like you don't own Star Trek, Star Wars. You don't own like anime.
No one's on.
It's for
no
everybody.
one owns anime. Zeke, no one.
But more, you know, that's what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
There should like remind us like there's no ownership. We share this thing together. The artist put this thing out for us to enjoy, and we all like nibble at the buffet. You can't just block people off from coming to the buffet since it's open to everybody, and you shouldn't. It's like if you go to a buffet and you're like, the pizza is mine. No one else can have any of this pizza.
Right.
I know you paid to get in here and shit, but you can't have none of this pizza because it's mine.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Cole, I'll let you jump in, but I do also want to say that it's also falls like the onus falls on in this particular situation. I'll say like content creator because that's in our world, but whoever the thing is that you're fanboying about, a lot of it falls on them to make sure that you're not somehow weaponizing like your fan base, or you're not choosing a side, or you're not like saying, hey, this person said this about it. Go tell them that they're wrong. Like that, I think, is where it gets real dangerous. And I think how a lot of things have gotten out of hand for sure is when kind of like figureheads arise within these fandoms and then they start operating on their own agenda and all that shit for sure. But that's my thoughts on it.
In terms of like the part of it, what is the amount of damage that fanboyism can do to the internet or to a company? Fanboyism in general it's kind of a double-edged sword because of course it's super great to have people that are really enthusiastic and pumped up about a thing or a person. But what it can also do is blind you, and companies especially, to potential avenues of improvement. So like sometimes, for instance, you know, a company will release a product and then a bunch of the fanboys will say, oh, this is great, this is awesome. But the general community is like, whoa, this is not so great and this is not awesome. But the company will just point at the fanboys and go, look, everyone's having a great time, so we don't need to change or do anything because look, the core loves it. And it's like, yeah, but you're literally limiting your improvement because you're kind of just going off the people that already love your product and you're not really growing out or making it bigger. So, you know, the same thing happens in politics where people will pick a candidate and they will become a fanboy of that candidate. And then it's like everything that's wrong with them, they can spin to be a positive. And it's like they become completely blind to the negatives that are staring them in the face because in their mind, any negative they see because they like the person so much, they just spin that into a positive because they love the dude and they never have to grow. They never get challenged and they just sit there in their own little bubble going, everything's perfect. Everything's great because, you know, anytime there's an issue, I'll just explain it away because I like them.
Yep.
And it's like, well, shit, like you are blind to obvious faults because of your fanboyism, not naming any names.
It's true. Yeah, we could definitely spend a lot of time on that and perhaps it's definitely something we should in the future, but we're gonna save this other question for next week. So I want to make sure that we don't just like give a half-assed answer to get out of here. But we're due for time, so we'll do some shout outs and call it a show. And we'll save that next question for next week on Drop Frames, where we'll be talking about that old Yakuza again, and probably some Bloodstained. And then I'll probably just be squealing about Final Fantasy because we'll be 2 days away from it then. Let's do some shout outs though and get out of here. Zeke, why don't you start us off?
Yo, everybody, thank you for watching. Thank you to Co and JP, as always, for making this the most watched podcast on Twitch. I made that up. I have no idea if we are or not. But thank you guys for being here. My name is Ezekiel III. You can find me at or / Ezekiel _III. That's on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. In about an hour from now, I will be on twitch.tv/table story playing a tabletop role-playing game in the Unknown Armies rule set called Nocturne. If you haven't tuned in, give it a look. If you like any sort of role-playing shows, this one it's been a lot of fun. And I'm really happy with it and proud of the group I'm in. But if you want to see video games and me playing them, Judgment early access tomorrow at noon Pacific. I'm going to be starting, and I'm probably going to just play that and nothing else until it's done. So I'm super excited about that. So hopefully I'll either see you in an hour or I'll see you tomorrow at noon. That's all I got.
Thank you very much. Co, some shout outs. Oh, you shrunk. Hold on. That was a cool transition. It's like you got tinier all of a sudden.
Wait, go the other way. Go the other way. You wouldn't like Co when he's angry.
He's back.
Anyway, as always, big thanks to JP and Zeke. This has been a lot of fun, as it always is. My name is Ko. Hi, nice to meet you if I haven't. I stream every single day at 8 a.m. EDT. Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., we're going to be checking out Judgment. Very excited to be looking at that. We're going to get a nice 4-hour block and maybe more. Also coming up this week, we've got the big Guardian Con charity stream with Cadence of Hyrule on Friday at 8 a.m. EDT. I'm also going to be finishing up Danganronpa. We've got the They Are Billions campaign to check out. We've got maybe that Blood game I keep for Bloodstained.
Bloodstained. Yes.
Bloodstained to check out eventually too. There's lots of big stuff. And then of course, after now the Surge is wrapped up, our next big kind of prequel to get through before the sequels come out later this year, we're going to be starting our Borderlands franchise playthrough, possibly as early as next week, maybe a little bit later. But we do have our Borderlands franchise playthrough of 1, 2, pre-sequel, and Tales coming up before Borderlands 3 later this year. So hope to see you for that as well. And as always, guys, thank you for watching. See you next week.
Thanks so much. That's it for Drop Frames. We'll be back next week. Like we said, talk about more. Have a good rest of your day. We're out of here. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.